Good morning everyone and welcome to my first ever video on this channel. Welcome to Flying with Joel, and today I'm very excited because I am taking British Airways brand new Airbus A350 on one of its short crew familiarisation services down to Madrid. I'm flying in the club suites and I'm just really looking forward to trying out this new product. Today I'll be using Heathrow's pod parking. This goes directly from the car park straight into Terminal 5. It's a really fun thing to travel on, however, it's not exactly the softest ride, but I can imagine if you're travelling with young ones, they'd probably find it quite enjoyable. Once in the terminal, it's a quick walk over to the North Security where I had to actually print off a paper boarding pass because it wouldn't scan the one on my mobile phone. But no bother, I was through very quickly, and so quickly in fact that when I got through the other end, the lounges were still closed. Turns out the lounges at Heathrow don't open till 5 AM and I was just before that, but a short walk over to the South Lounge and it had opened just by the time I got there. I went straight over to my favourite spot in this lounge, which is right over in the far corner, and there were literally no other people. There's plenty of food to choose from in this lounge at breakfast time. You can have anything from fruit or even hot bacon rolls. I just decided to go for some fruit given how early it was in the day. I do really like this spot in the lounge because it allows quite a cool view over the security lanes where it's perfect for people watching, and really at this time in the morning, that's all really I've got energy for. There is this small area on the right, however, which I always wonder if British Airways will ever do anything with. It's just sort of an empty, bleak-looking construction site in a way, and it seems a bit ridiculous to leave it looking like that. So I'm sure there's a reason for it, but I have always wondered why it looks like that. I also found it quite interesting to see that my Madrid flight was actually the first to leave Terminal 5. Anyway, after a quick 20 to 30 minutes in the lounge, it was now time to head over to my gate. My A350 would be departing from the C gate today, so that meant jumping on this transit, which takes around 5 or 10 minutes to reach the C gates. Once I arrived in the C gates, I went straight to my gate and took my first look at our A350 that would be taking us over to Madrid today. It was also very nice to see lots of the other heavy aircraft taxiing around Heathrow at this time in the morning. Now that it was time to board, I was extremely excited to see this new club suite. I'd be boarding on the first of the two gate bridges today because I was seated in seat 11K. First impressions of my seat were actually really good. Photos don't really do justice to how spacious this cabin is. Now this is a massive improvement from BA's current Club World product. All of this storage space, there's also 2 charging points in this first storage unit, and a smaller little controller where you can control your screen from. More of that later. This is a second storage compartment which would be perfect for things like mobile phones or your passport. Then British Airways have included this other weird storage compartment which I found useful to put my headphones in, and a vanity mirror. There's also other storage lower down. Here's a quick look at the IFE system then. This is brand new for British Airways and I have to say it's very good. Lots and lots of entertainment options as you would expect, movies, a particularly good amount of TV series, and although I'm struggling with it a little bit in the video here, it is actually an extremely responsive screen, and I thought as well the quality was good. Only issue I actually had with it was on the flight home, the audio kept cutting out, so I don't know if that was an issue with my particular headphones or screen, but it was quite annoying. And as I briefly mentioned a minute ago, you can use this smaller little controller to control that IFE system. It does also come out of here and you can hold it in your hand. British Airways is celebrating 100 years this year, which makes it all the more special to be on this brand new aircraft. Above you, you'll find some more reading lights, and to your right, you'll have your seat controls. It was time then to push back, listen to those brand new A350 engines start up and take us over to Madrid. So after a beautiful departure out of Heathrow on this Airbus A350, it was time to have a quick look at the menus that were handed out before takeoff. Now, although we are on a Club World suite, it is a Club Europe menu, as this is obviously a European flight. Hot towels were handed out shortly after takeoff. Then I thought it would be time to have a quick look at the new tray table. It folds out like that and then opens up like this. This provides a pretty decent sized working space and it is very, very solid. Also, it would allow you to push the table away during a meal service. On the right we have the seat controls with 3 presets, one for takeoff and landing. One is sort of a slouch position, which I'm trying here, and then obviously there is a fully flat bed option. You can also adjust the foot support or footrest and the backrest using the controls here. Let's have a look at this suite door then, something that BA have bragged about in their new seat, and it's pretty good. Certainly when you're lying down it is absolutely private, although there are gaps between it and the floor and it and the side of the suite. While I'm still waiting for my drink, I thought I'd have a quick look at the smaller of the 2 business class cabins here on the A350. This is probably the place you want to sit if you had the choice, with just 3 rows allowing a more private and intimate space. If you are in one of the middle seats, you'll be pleased to know that there is a far more substantial divider than in the existing Club World suite, and this one, most importantly, can be closed for takeoff and landing. One small issue I've noticed with the seats are the gap between the fixture and the windows. It's already dirty after just over a week in service. 45 minutes into the flight and I'm still waiting for a drink, so let's go check out the World Traveller Plus cabin. This is an updated seat from the current World Traveller Plus seat. It's only slightly different with a new screen, but the legroom remains the same at 38 inches, which is very, very good, and there is a footrest here for added comfort. I don't personally find that very comfortable. The cabin comes in a 2-4-2 configuration, no different to the current wide body fleet that British Airways has. Finally then, back to my seat and I had a drink. I went for just some orange juice and some coffee this morning, and shortly after the cabin crew brought out my breakfast, which I ordered a full English. This was the pretty standard breakfast for BA, which I actually always try and get because it is rather tasty. It also came with some nice looking fruit and a weird sort of yogurt thing, which I didn't actually try. But yeah, very, very nice indeed, and I just couldn't quite believe I was sitting in this suite on an A350 for just a 1.5 hour flight. And as I mentioned earlier, you can push the table forward whilst things are on it, meaning that if you lower the armrest, although I'm struggling here, you can get out of your seat, say if you need to go to the bathroom during meal service. One other advantage of flying on a brand new aircraft is the squeaky clean windows. allowing for some really nice shots. This is the suite then in fully flat mode with the bedding on. They actually gave us white company bedding on this very short flight, which was nice for me to try. And then when you close the suite door like so, that gives you an idea of the amount of privacy you've got. So you're not completely private from people walking past, but at least when you're lying down, you can't really see anything else at all, as you can see here. Now, it would be unfair of me to give you an idea of exactly how comfortable the bed is, because I only really tried it for about 20 minutes, but I have to say, I did have a little snooze and it was very, very nice indeed. And all too fast, it was time to descend down into Madrid. The lucky thing for me at least is that I will get to fly home on this very aircraft later on this evening. Nonetheless, on my approach down to Madrid, I want to contemplate on my thoughts of this new BA product. Now, the Club Suite is an absolutely monumental improvement on the current Club World seat. I cannot emphasise that enough. It really is fantastic, and I really do hope I get to try it out on a long haul flight sometime. My only thing with it, although I am a massive fan of British Airways, and like I say, I'm really impressed with this new seat, it does sort of feel like they have really only just sort of caught up with the competition at this point, and really this will be the last time they do anything significant for at least a decade, and by that point I can only imagine that BA's Club Suite will be out of date and behind competition again. But nonetheless, I think for the next few years we can really, really enjoy it, and like I say, I'm going to try my absolute best to fly it again. I hope you guys have enjoyed this very first flight review of mine, and do let me know in the comments below what you think of BA's new Club Suite, and leave this video a like if you enjoyed it. Thanks so much for watching guys, and I will see you very, very soon.